Peymon who?
Mata Heyday.
Peymon Lata Heyday. Who is he?
Never paid taxes in 30 years. Fought the U.S. tax court and won.
See, I believe our rights come from God, not from government. Hello to my truth and freedom-seeking friends. I am Peymon Motahede, the president of Freedom Law School, which I created in 1996, and for over 30 years, I have not paid any federal income or payroll taxes openly, and have taught Americans like you to do the same legally and safely. In this presentation, I'm going to answer the common question that comes up. People want to trust their accountant, CPA, tax attorney, enrolled agent, bookkeeper that they've had for many years. Is a good guy, guided me well, and I have a relationship with him. He's my brother-in-law, my best friend. I've known him since high school. Done my tax return for over 10 years, done a great job. Everything's fine. Despite that relationship that you have with your tax preparer, should you trust him or not? Well, we will cover the facts in this case to keep you safe from the IRS. So with that, let's go and talk about this myth first. Some of you have seen some of this in our videos, but those of you who have not, this is a good refresher for you, okay? First thing is that I know most of you, all of your life, been brainwashed to believe that filing an IRS 1040 income tax form is a safe way to avoid IRS audits and keep you out of prison. Yes, I know that is also what your bookkeeper, accountant, CPA, enrolled agent, tax attorney, they all tell you that. They tell you don't listen to those wackos about not filing and paying income taxes. It's dangerous. You get in trouble. Listen to me. I am the expert in taxes. I'll keep you safe all these years, and I will continue to do so. Well, here is the truth. The truth is that you unwittingly increase your chances of going to prison for taxes when you sign under penalties of perjury that your 1040 form is true, correct, and complete. That is a form that you did not complete. You relied on that bookkeeper, accountant, CPA, tax attorney to do all the work for you, and you just sign on the dotted line, okay? Well, let's take a look at this a little bit more closely as to this situation. And I'm going to show you, folks, that here it is. This is a 1040 form, okay? You sign it under penalty of perjury. Did your tax practitioner expert ever tell you what does that under penalties of perjury means? That you signed right next to your name. Oh, he never bothered to tell you? Oh, well, guess what? I think you'd want to know. Because what it means, throw you in prison. You're asking the IRS to throw you in prison if everything on a 1040 form is not true, correct, and complete. A form that you didn't fill it out. He did. He filled it out, and when it's wrong, do you think they're going to go after him, put him in prison, empty his bank account, take his paycheck, his home, his property, his business? No. They come after you and your property and your business and put you in prison. That is right. And you see, did he tell you that under oath you swear? Look at line 37. You sign under that you swear this is the amount you owe the IRS. That's what you swore to. IRS, without coming after you, without giving you a chance at the trial, which you have a right to trial, you confess that you owe the IRS money. Did he tell you that when you file a 1040 tax form or any federal tax form, you give up the right to your most private and sensitive financial information to the IRS? The IRS then can use these documents as evidence and the information as evidence against you in a court of law, which can therefore be used to, and you put the burden of proof on yourself. You force yourself to prove all expenses, deductions, and credits that you claimed on your 1040 tax form. And if you cannot prove such expenses, deductions, credits, you will end up paying a lot more money to the IRS or even be sentenced to a lengthy prison terms. Yes, you risk, being charged with 3 separate tax crimes for each 1040 form that you sign under oath and you file with the IRS. Here they are. Attempting to evade or defeat a tax evasion, that's up to 5 years in prison. Filing a fraudulent and false statement, up to 3 years in prison. If there's any mistake, folks, guess what? It's false. And if it's false, it's not much more to say it was fraud, so you'll get to keep more of your money, right? Not to pay taxes. And on top of that, filing fraudulent return statements or other documents. Yeah, let's throw that on the kitchen sink too. You're looking at going in prison for up to 9 years for each tax form, like a 1040 form, that you file with the IRS. Why do that? But he tells you that's the safe thing to do. It is not true. And if you're a crypto saver investor, it's even more worse because you have to answer that digital asset question trap to tell the IRS if you have sold or disposed of any cryptocurrency in any way during a tax year. And if you say yes, be truthful like you want to be, you just put yourself on the IRS audit list. Here I am. I said yes. Come and check me out. Try to get more money out of me. And the IRS is hammering crypto return filers with audits because the IRS knows how expensive and difficult it is to figure out the cost basis of your crypto sales. So the IRS can tax you on your entire gross crypto sales and transfers, hurting you big time. You put money from your own exchange to your own private wallet, bam, they consider a sale and they do it to you. So you don't want to do that? Don't want to say yes? The other option is to say no. If you say no, well, guess what? You just lied under oath, under penalty of perjury, which could land you in prison for 3 separate tax crimes you've seen above, including tax evasion, for up to 9 years for every 1040 form, which you lied about not having had any cryptocurrency. Your accountant tells you that's a safe thing to do to file a tax return. It's not. So let's take a look at this stuff a little more closely. Bottom line is, you put the rope around your neck when you sign a 1040 form. But your tax accountant doesn't tell you that. He thinks he's saving you money big time. And he's not saving any money. He's getting you in trouble, as you see. Let's go further now. And bottom line is, Freedom Law School teaches you that you need to stop filing income tax forms when you sign the IRS 1040 income tax confession trap form. You put the IRS noose around your neck. How? Well, it's simple. When you sign and file the 1040 form, you state under oath that you owe the IRS money. And this is how you give the IRS the power to audit you empty your bank account, steal your crypto profits, steal your property, and put you in prison. All that happened because you signed that form that your tax practitioner says you should do. Trust me, that's a safe thing to do. All right? So, with that, let's go further, explain the damage that they could do to you even further. You know that Time Magazine, Money Magazine, did this article that now CNN Money publishes back in March of 1988. Okay. And the article's headline, Even Seasoned Pros Are Confused This Year. Money asked 50 tax preparers to figure one family's taxes and got 50 different answers. Which one's the right answer? Right? Because only one of them could be right. The other 49 are obviously false. And will land you in prison. All it takes is for the IRS to pick on you. Now I got a more readable version of this article, which is, doesn't have any paragraph breaks in it. I'll have it on our website, Freedom Law School's website. Here it is. Okay? And let me cover a little bit of this article for you guys, okay? So it says, chances are that if you mustered courage to look at this year's simplified 1040 packet, you are probably ready to seek professional help, either from a tax preparer or a mental health therapist. The tax reform law has added new complexity to the old forms while creating another whole set of befuddling worksheets for you to complete. So if you have any itemized deductions at all, you should probably see a tax practitioner, but beware, the pros are plenty baffled themselves. Okay? So here's what happened. Money Magazine examination of 50 tax preparers nationwide shows that the new tax law is causing all sorts of problems for those who make their living filling out tax returns. Okay? What's more, an easier test we concluded reveals that IRS's own taxpayer financial profile of a hypothetical family to the participants in our project who agreed to prepare the family's tax returns based on the information sent. They also encouraged us to call us if they need additional information. Formulated with the help of Theodore Reiner, senior manager with the Washington, D.C. office of Ernst & Winnie, the profile raised complex tax issues relating to the new law, but included no unfair trick questions. Well, here is the results, bottom line, okay? The 50 pros computed 50 different amounts of tax due from the family. Their bottom lines varied by as much as 50%. The preparers are still uncertain about the nuances of the new tax law. In case where the law itself is unclear, the pros are making up rules on their own that differ greatly. Because there are an unprecedented number of gray areas, it's more likely than ever that you could end up paying a higher tax bill or risk an audit with some practitioners than with others. Now, pro tax preparers, even the most expensive ones like tax attorneys, CPAs, are not immune from making careless, simple mathematical mistakes. HRM block outlets are capable of handling a difficult return as skillfully as some Big 8 accounting firms at a fraction of the cost. While the block preparers would have charged an average of only $267 to our hypothetical family, the national accounting firm fees were average $1,567. So, those of you who have tax attorneys or CPAs, you think, I got a certified public accountant, I got a very good tax attorney. Guess what? They make mistakes, as you saw, just as much as HRM block. So, what do? How do you get out of this dilemma? How should you treat your tax preparer? Well, what you should do is understand on this page risk of relying on tax preparers' opinions. Okay? So, as your bookkeeper, ask your bookkeeper, accountant, CPA, enrolled agent, or tax attorney the following questions to help you decide whether you really want to pay them to prepare and file IRS Form 1040 and other IRS forms, which is often followed by forking over a significant amount of your money to the IRS. Okay, in this video you see on this page, folks, I go into more detail, but basically you ask them simple questions like, is it true that you want me to sign under penalty of perjury that everything on this IRS Form 1040 and other IRS income tax forms that you prepare for me is true, correct, and complete? And the answer is yes. They do want you to sign a piece of paper under penalty of perjury because otherwise it's no good. You have to, by law, put the rope around your neck on the penalty of perjury, hand the rope to the IRS. So he'll tell you yes. Okay? Now, then you ask him, okay, fine. Does penalty of perjury mean that if anything on the 1040 form is not true, correct, and complete, I may end up in federal tax prison on criminal charges? And the answer is yes. Not him. He prepared it. He filled it out, right? But you go to prison for the form that he filled out that at Money Magazine said out of 50 times, 49 out of 50 are definitely wrong. You want to take that chance? Well, if you do, you can go to prison for tax evasion, okay, for up to 5 years. For fraud and false statements, up to 3 years in prison. Ask him. If it's true or not, ask him. Okay? For fraudulent returns, up to 1 year, ask him. It's all right here. Have this printed out. Ask your tax preparer. And is it true that you're going to go to prison up to 9 years for each 1040 form that he prepares for you to sign? Okay? So, you ask him further that you're relying on him as your tax expert to completely understand your financial records and to apply all relevant Internal Revenue Code statutes, Treasury regulations, and court cases which may apply to your tax situation, and to use his knowledge to properly prepare the IRS Form 1040 and other tax forms for you, and then you must sign them under penalty of perjury. So therefore, you need to ask him. Okay? If the tax forms you prepare for you to sign under penalty of perjury are in any way found by IRS not to be true, correct, and complete, will you go to prison or will I? Who goes to prison? The accountant, the tax attorney, CPA who kept the records, filled out the forms for you. Does he go to prison? Or do you go to prison? Who don't understand the tax laws. Here's Internal Revenue Code. You'll know this stuff. He's supposed to know it, right? And he's supposed to keep the records of counting for you, right? Does he go to prison or do you? Well, the answer is simple. You go to prison. You paying him for you to risk going to prison. Ask him, will you as my tax expert pay for expert income tax lawyers to defend me against criminal charges for which the IRS may come after me on tax forms that you prepared for me to sign under penalty of perjury? Well, the answer is no, he won't. You have to pay for that expert. Hopefully, he can help you. Pray a lot, if that's what you want to do. And can the IRS disagree with the tax forms you prepare for me and come after me for more money anyways? And the answer is yes. Of course. And ask, in case the IRS comes after me for more money, will you defend me at a fixed annual fee, the 1040 tax form that you prepared for me? Or will you charge me hourly for your services with no limit on how much I may have to pay you to defend me from IRS's tax proposal audit? Well, guess what? It'll be unlimited hourly charges. Could be hundreds of thousands of dollars or more. Further ask, in case the IRS proposes more taxes against me or decides to audit me, what guarantee do you offer me that the IRS will not be able to collect more taxes by levying my paycheck, bank account, home, or other assets? They give you zero guarantee. No guarantee whatsoever. There's a part 2 on this also. The part 2 is comparing Freedom Law School. Because will you guarantee me, as Freedom Law School's Restore Freedom Plan does, that if necessary, he will hire tax lawyers to defend me? Well, of course not. He doesn't do that. He cannot do that. Only Freedom Law School can do that for you. If I completely follow your instructions in filing IRS Form 1040 and other tax forms, will you guarantee me, as Freedom Law School's Restore Freedom Plan does, that you will handle any income tax issues that come up, no matter how complex those issues may become, including tax court, district court, courts of appeal, and IRS summonses? His answer is no. He will not do that. Only Freedom Law School will do that for you with a big yes. Ask him, will you guarantee me that if I completely and fully follow your advice in filling out and signing U.S. income tax forms, that the IRS will not be able to levy my paycheck, bank account, home, or my other assets for as long as I continue to stay a member of Freedom Law School's Restore Freedom Plan does? Well, guess what? His answer is no. Only Freedom Law School can give you that guaranteed protection that you want. And ask him further, will you spell out for me, as Freedom Law School does, based on the Internal Revenue Code, statutes, Treasury regulations, and U.S. Supreme Court decisions, exactly who is by law required to file and pay U.S. individual income and employment taxes, and whether I am one of those individuals or employers? No. He cannot do so because he's ignorant of the law. Freedom Law School does, and we say it's not you, the people of the 50 states. So you want to trust that guy who is ignorant of the law? Why would anybody do such a thing, folks? It's ridiculous. Let me tell you about those who have lawyers. Do you have lawyers are good? This is an article I put on Freedom Catalog back in early, about 12 years ago. Failure of American Law Schools by Ralph Warner, publisher of Nolo Press. Okay, and he talks about Jerry Spence, this very famous, well-known lawyer. Okay, that was around in the 60s through 90s. Most Americans have little confidence in lawyers and a great deal of cynicism about our courts. For their part, lawyers and judges aren't happy either. When polled, 70% of American lawyers said they would not recommend that as their recommend that the children enter the profession. Judges, even those serving on formerly prestigious state Supreme Courts, are resigning in record numbers. Why does the American legal profession so thoroughly lost its way? Although there are a number of unrelated causes, its most fundamental failures can be traced to American law schools. Here's the opinion of Jerry Spence, which I mentioned to you, jerryspence.com, a most renowned trial lawyer who puts on trial skills seminars for lawyers from his best-selling book, With Justice for None. Buyer, beware of your tax lawyer or any lawyer. Every year, the law schools disgorge, which means release, their latest graduates, thousands of eager, wide-eyed young men and women who finally passed the bar exam of their states are loosed or released upon the unsuspecting American public. Most, check this out, most have no more experience in law, in legal procedures, how to actually do the law, than a surgeon who has been dissecting frogs in a biology class. Yeah, that's how little they teach the law schools. Although every law school offers a course in trial practice, and while some present their students to take, some permit their students to take part in certain clinical programs in which the student can honestly claim he actually saw a real client and actually saw, and inside of a real courtroom, the truth is that no law student in America receives competent training in the art of advocacy to argue, advocate the case of their clients. And left to their own devices, many never acquire it, let alone perfect it in that entire career at the bar as a lawyer. So, and this guy, on top of being competent as a lawyer, the tax lawyer, okay, now, he claims to have known this Internal Revenue Code, the whole federal tax law, over 10,000 pages of gobbledygook garbage that doesn't apply to you at all. He doesn't even know that. And you want to hire him, pay a bunch of money, because he's a lawyer, and CPAs, accountants, bookkeepers, enrolled agents, the same. They're just pretending to know the law. So, if they knew the law, why don't they know that it does not apply to you as the people of the 50 states? That shows you how bad the situation is. So, yes, do not rely upon your attorney. Do not go to CPA or accountant. They'll tell you he's crazy. Don't listen to those tax, avoidance people, these, sovereign citizens. We're not sovereign citizens, anything like that, okay? They're just going to scare you because that's how they make money off of you. Why would he tell you to fire him? Why? That'd be ridiculous. Because if you stop filing tax returns, you stop paying your accountant, CPA, tax attorney money, you cut off his livelihood. Of course he's going to tell you not to do that. Duh. So, here we are. And that's why even this former U.S. tax court judge, Diane Krupa, when the IRS came after her for taxes criminally, they want to put her in prison, she did not even try to put up a defense and go to trial. Instead, she pled guilty and to reduce her sentence to only 34 months. That's a good deal that she got, supposedly, right? So instead, what you want to do is simple. Just follow the law. Just follow the law. All you want to do is stop relying on someone else's opinions about the law. Accountant, enrolled agent, CPA, tax attorney. They have only their opinions. They don't follow the law. Fair Law School recommends that you strictly follow the law. We are sticklers for the law. That's why Fair Law School says that you should rely only on the official legal websites of U.S. government. And based upon that, you can see no law requires 99% of Americans to file and pay income taxes. So, if you haven't done so, start with this 9-minute video on the topic and go down further educate yourself on this issue. So on the left is some of the laws printed there for you to see. Watch these 5 short videos, 5 to 10 minutes long each. And then here's a more complete, longer videos on the same topic below them. So you want to start there, the law. And then what Freedom Law School recommends is that you question the authority of the federal government to make you a slave. Because you are not a slave. Yes. You don't have to pay tribute to the criminal beasts, the deep state. You don't have to pay them nothing at all. Okay? If you understood the law and your rights. So, what we recommend is that you write your Congress members for free on our website, for free, at freedomlawschool.org. They're there. And file and pay income taxes only if your congressman can show you the law that requires you to file and pay income taxes. Yeah. They can never do that. They've never done that. For thousands of times we've done this. People on their own out there done this. Guess what? Not once any of the lawmakers can show us, oh, you're wrong. Here's the law. Not once they've been able to do so. And this way, you safely free yourself from Irish deception, robbery, and slavery. And these petitions are perfectly written. Here's one on the individual income tax. Okay? So what we do in these petitions addressed to your lawmakers, you can fill in the blank, again, for free at freedomlawschool.org, right? So we tell them about the law. We quote the law verbatim, like you see in the petitions, completely. Like this is Supreme Court case of Gould versus Gould, right? We quote it. And then at the end of the petition, the laws are listed. Okay? Here we go. They're attached. List of all the laws that we relied upon, like the Gould versus Gould case I just showed you. And then the cases and laws are attached. Like again, you see the actual copy of the law, like here, Gould versus Gould, U.S. Supreme Court case, is attached for the lawmakers to be able to read the law easily and conveniently, quickly, to give you their response, their analysis, if you're right or wrong, for you, right? And then at the end of the petition, you flat out tell the lawmakers that you believe that every person should pay their fair share of income taxes according to the law. Yes, only according to the law and no more. Okay? You show them that the law does not apply to you, okay, based upon government's official legal websites. You tell them that I don't owe anything at all based upon the above. This is my declaration. I owe nothing. You tell them straight up. After you tell them you owe them nothing, then you go and tell them this, that if by reading this letter, the government's on official legal websites, quoted, listed, attached, it can show you somehow that you have somehow misinterpreted these laws, statutes, regulations, Supreme Court cases, and that you do owe federal income taxes, you would gladly pay all taxes due and will consider such payment to be your fair share. Now, how can it get more straight up than that? Honest and straight up. Well, of course, we ask them at the same time that when they found that you're right, to investigate this, tell other Congress members, educate them, and stop this corrupt government renegade conspiracy and put an end to impoverishing Americans. Right? So this way you can safely stop filing an income tax, not relying upon some, convoluted accountant CPA tax attorney, but based upon U.S. government's official legal websites. The opinion of the tax attorney, CPA accountant means nothing. We go only based upon U.S. government's official legal websites. So, what you want to do is strengthen your heart How to do that? Your confidence. I'll tell you how you do that. You go to Freedom Law School's website, freedomlawschool.org, and start listening to it as you drive around. And when you go home or work for lunch or dinner, you watch it and really understand this stuff. It's easy, folks. Just a few hours of your time will do the trick, okay? And then you have an option, if you want to help us restore freedom and get rid of the whole scam on American people completely, have America be a free country again for you, your children, your grandchildren. Join hands with other freedom-seeking Americans like America's founding fathers did over 200 years ago. There's an option. If you want to do that, you don't have to. You can do it on your own for free. The five steps, the first ones are free. If you're low income, do it on your own if you want to. Okay, seriously, especially if you're low income. If you keep 100% of your money and don't give it to your enemies in D.C. But if you're committed to freedom, or you have more risk, or you want to just feel more confident, then in that case, the Restore Freedom Plan is available for modern day founding fathers of America with the privilege of 100% guarantee. And you can enjoy a 100% guarantee when you legally stop filing and pay income taxes. And as long as you're a member of the Restore Freedom Plan, Freedom Law School will prevent the IRS from leaving your money or freedom. Freedom Law School will reimburse you if they ever take your money, and will guarantee you will not go to prison. So that's a simple answer. Rely only on U.S. government's official legal websites, not an opinion of the so-called tax experts. If your tax expert can answer the question I asked and convince you that he's right, follow his advice. But make sure he answers this questionnaire that we put together for you on our website. So with that, my friends, I can only take a horse to water, but I cannot make it drink. I love you, and I want every one of you to live a free, prosperous, joyous life. Get out of the debt with the credit cards. Have some money for the savings. Eat better food. Have better life. Don't stress out about money. By not giving your money to the crooks who deceive you to make yourself a slave of the corrupt deep state federal government. But I cannot do it for you. You have to empower yourself. Put your smartphone in your car. Play our videos. As you look at the road and drive safely, listen to what you're hearing, and then later on to verify that what I'm telling you is not some crazy opinion made up stuff. You watch it during lunch or dinner time, you say, I got it. Now you can be as confident as me. Have peace of mind about the IRS really not be able to mess with you like me. Remember, for over 30 years, I've openly not filed and paid any federal income taxes. IRS knows me. They've never even tried to indict me to try to put me in prison because they know I will beat them. I get big publicity as a result of beating them in court with a jury trial. So they never tried it. They have tried to mess with me with a money case civilly. I'll beat them in the IRS appeals office, in the U.S. tax court, and federal district court. And over 22 years, we've had the Restore Freedom Plan, and not one of our students who came to us clean and stopped filing and paying income tax for Freedom Law School has ever gone to federal tax prison, or nor had their bank account and paycheck levied, or home or property business seized by the IRS. So it's all up to you, brothers and sisters. I give you my love and the key to your freedom at freedomlawschool.org. Go there now to further educate and free yourself.